Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. We're having a good little discussion before the show started, and tonight we're going to talk about batteries, your cordless tools and drills and all whatever you have, and charging them. And I got some very interesting information. I know we touched base on this a few shows ago and talked about that, but I've got actually a public service announcement. Some things that you really need to think about with your cordless tools. So first off, let me go ahead and talk about my wonderful sponsors, and they are Devobel Technologies. For web design, development, hosting, visit devobel.com. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard to find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Klingspor, the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com. Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, seiko.com. And Scrollnado, desk collection for your scroll saw. You can find them on Amazon.
Hey, Russ, I don't see the YouTube running.
No, it's not.
See, that's what I was afraid of by doing what I did this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
I'll tell them stand by.
Oh, it is. It is there.
It's there.
Yep. It's there. It is there. I had to refresh. Aussie Man's out there. Hello, Aussie Man.
Yep.
The video isn't going.
I had
I see the video, guys.
Is it?
I see the video.
Yeah, it's running here, Aussie Man says.
Yep, we're live over on
Twitch. I don't
YouTube.
know about it.
I haven't checked Twitch. Let me go over and check Twitch real quick.
Okay, well, I'm bringing it up, but
Powered by Restream.
it'll take some time.
I keep refreshing.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it.
We're live on.
Yeah, now I
I'm
got
still not getting it.
Yep, we're live on Twitch, and we
Did
should.
anybody bring pizza?
Let me close YouTube and bring it back.
It's saying going live soon over on Facebook.
Refresh it, Russ, because
It's a promise. Let's see if they'll keep it.
I had to back out and go back in before.
Somebody's got their
YouTube
YouTube running.
I
Yeah,
don't think it's me, but I'll check because I got 20 different things on. That's muted.
That was you.
It was you again, Al.
That I can get rid of.
yes, we're live over on. We're live over on Facebook too. Going live soon over on Facebook. Yep. Now that was me.
Okay. All right. Because I'm like, where is it?
Yeah, no, that was me. That last one. But anyway, so we've got Aussie Man, Path 1961, Michelle Marcoux, Wizard Woodwork, Sean Draper. They're all out there in the.
Got it.
Chris Nealon is over there over
Chris.
on YouTube. He says YouTube's not live for me. It took a second,
Trying to get it.
or two
Oh, there we go.
for it
I'll
to
tell
come.
them how I did it. I went down and clicked on Simply Wooden Creations, brought up your page, and then click on the live.
Yeah, I had to refresh it. I had to refresh it. If you didn't have plans, then
No,
refresh it.
Brenda again. No, they are still. She claims. I don't know if I'm going to believe her or not, but she claims she's still working on her garage, trying to get it fixed. She has had to do some repairs on it. She needs to get her car inside the garage to keep people from messing with it. So if I'm not mistaken, what I heard her say was they had to install a garage door opener, and also the door on the side was like bolted closed. It wouldn't work. It was like they had to replace the door totally because it was in such bad shape. So she's had to do that, plus electrical, plus some other stuff that she's done to it. So yeah.
Didn't she say it was like a carriage house or something like that before?
No, it was a barn.
A barn. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she said it was a pole barn. Yeah, and so there's nothing square on it, and they've turned it into a garage. And plus, she has all of her I think 2 relatives, her father passed and her brother or somebody else passed. She has all their stuff in there, and so she's had to sell and clean. She said the other day when she was on her show on Thursday night, she said she's repacked and moved stuff 3 times to get enough room to get the car in. So
I've got 4 shops in my garage, so I can feel for her,
Chris Nealon, like I said, he's out there. Oh, he's joined us over on YouTube now. But yeah, so let's let everybody tell us where we can find you, Chris.
Hey gang, Chris here at the Old Cranky Workshop. The workshop is still in boxes and tubs and crates, but I will get it back. I'm down here in Florida. You'll find me on Facebook and on YouTube.
Cool. Al.
You'll find me by the pool too.
Now you're rubbing it in, man. Now you're bragging.
Yes, I am.
That's cruel.
Jeez.
That's cruel.
I'm Al Forte, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. I stream on Twitch as Kilroy79763. See, right there. Just search for me, Kilroy79763. Even on YouTube, if you do that. I've been doing some electronic lessons for one of the classes I teach on Friday nights at 9 p.m. For the students, it's actually lecture. With the COVID stuff, we've had to kind of figure out ways to give the lectures, and I figure why not? I'd do it that way. But I'm a hobbyist. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. on Twitch, Kilroy79763. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Dixon.
Hey, everybody. I'm Dixon Hoffman. You can find me on Facebook and at HoffmanSignsAndDecals.com.
Mr. Jim.
Oh, sorry, I was typing something. Jim Dockrell. Jim Bashir's Driveway Workshop. Al's, if you guys want to learn basic electronics and stuff, jump over on Al's channel and look at some of his videos. They're pretty good.
Thank you.
As a classroom environment kind of thing.
Well, and it is. It is.
Yeah. I was watching them. I liked them.
Good. I'm glad you did. Thank you.
So here's the big uproar or the big controversy in the electrical world. Current flow negative to positive or current flow positive to negative? Which one do you side with?
Negative to positive.
X. Yes.
Yes.
All right. We can still be friends.
And by the way, this last lecture, the one that says electricity, the 2 are compared. So go watch it on my YouTube channel.
DC or AC?
Hey, Paul. Hey, everybody else be quiet. Paul.
Paul Corliss.
They won't shut up, Paul. I had to interrupt them.
Paul Corliss from Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and as a retired telephone engineer.
There you
I
go.
can tell you that the telephone company does it backwards than anybody else because it's positive to negative. Because it's a negative 48 volts that it operates on.
I've lived a lie my whole life.
And the ring is pulsating DC. So there you go.
Paul, did you guys have those
is it pulsating DC or pulsating AC?
Pulsating DC.
Oh, telephone lines DC.
Oh, did you guys have those big old beakers? I want to call them beakers. They were like real big glass batteries.
Yes, in the central office. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I always thought it was the pulsating AC that they spiked to get the ringer to ring, but you're saying it's pulsating DC.
Pulsating DC. Yeah.
Oh, it's DC because you can get hammered off of it.
Oh boy.
Oh, I know. I've touched the phone line before, and especially if you touch it when it is actually being spiked because of the ring, it will give you a tickle. Let me tell you.
Yes, it will.
Paul, were you around when the Slick 96 systems came out?
Yes, I was there when it came out, and I retired just when fiber optics were starting to come in big. So yeah, I remember Slick 96. Yeah, we put a lot of those in.
I guess that's a discussion for another show, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys can come on my channel and discuss that, guys.
Okay.
Tonight's show is going to be, we're talking about your cordless drills, whatever you have that's cordless battery. And the newest thing out used to be NiCad. That was the big thing for years and years and years. But now pretty much everything is going to lithium ion. and I had an acquaintance that I know through Facebook, and they posted some pictures, and apparently their shop burnt up. And come to find out, after the fire investigation, they're saying that the cause of the fire was their cordless drill or tool, whatever they had, and the charger actually started the fire and caused the fire. So, I've heard of this before, and we all have heard of this. We were talking about it before the show. Back in the early 2000s, when lithium ion came out, so to speak, and really hit the market, the hoverboards. Everybody knows about those hoverboards, and every time you turned around, it seemed like one of them was catching on fire. Even when some people were even riding them down the road or riding them on the sidewalk or whatever, they were actually bursting into flames and catching on fire. So that was occurring back in around the 2000 marker, somewhere about there. And also phones. They're having a lot of problems with the phones that went to lithium ions. Now, Dixon, you said something about they were all being made in China, and they had to quit that because China was using what?
Yes.
Defective materials, or putting them together right? Or?
Yes, they find whatever they can and make their parts. And the best place to get batteries, even for your electric bike, and that is you got to get them from Japan.
And so I guess the company started buying them for Japan, and it seemed to quell the problem, so to speak.
By the way, and I'm reading this off the web, the CPSC says that hoverboards lithium battery packs can overheat, and you need to make sure that it has a UL 2272 certification label to make sure your scooter is compliant.
Yeah.
Adding to the.
So I knew all about that, and but I really had never heard a lot about the tools that were coming out with them. Well, after doing some research, this goes back as far as the 2000 also. Apparently, DeWalt had a lot of problems with their tools in lithium ion, their chargers, and also the batteries. I really didn't know that. I mean, until I started reading on the subject and going through it, and I was like, wow. I'm sure the other companies had it, but for some reason it seemed to be DeWalt seemed to be plagued more than the other companies with this problem. And I'm not sure why, unless they were too dumb to quit buying batteries from Japan and kept on buying them from China. That's the only thing I can think of. But didn't you say that you found some recalls and stuff as far back as 2000, Al?
Yeah, the recalls were back in 2000. Let's see if I can locate it again. I've got so many windows opened up here, but yeah, they were 2000. Yeah, there they are. It was March 2nd, 2000. DeWalt announced its recall of the DW9095 18-volt battery packs, which I know these aren't them, but this is an 18-volt battery pack. So
that's not a DeWalt pack, though, right?
yes, this is a DeWalt pack.
Oh, it is. Okay, I've got rid of.
Hold that up again. That's the older DeWalt packs, because
This
the new
is
one,
the older DeWalt pack. Yes.
yeah, the new one doesn't look like that. The new
New
one's
ones are flat.
This is the 9116, and it uses I guess that's the charger. This is a 9098. Those are the 9095s.
okay.
So this is the little newer one. Here's the other one, Russ, which is the newer lithium ion.
Yes, that's the ones that I have. Now, mine aren't 18 volt, mine are 20 volt.
And this is the smaller 20 volt, by the way. This is only 1500 or 1.5, 1500 ampere watts or ampere hours.
Amp hours. Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 amp hours. Yeah. And what that means is that it'll produce 1.5 ampere hours or amp per hour before it dies. You can use it.
Yes,
for
somebody
1 hour.
hit the thumbs up out there, and if you don't mind, I would appreciate you hitting the thumbs up for me, giving me bunches of thumbs up. That would be really great. Yes, and my 20 volt DeWalt packs are like that right there, but they're 20 volt. So that's
Yeah.
an 18 volt. No, that's
No,
a
this
20 volt.
This is 20.
Yeah.
And this one is the 18. And
I
this,
guess the 18 packs were the ones they were having problems with.
yes. And it was the model before these, like I said a
Right.
second, I can't remember the.
Well, anyway, so they were having apparently DeWalt was having a lot of problems because it caused from my understanding, it caused quite a few fires. So let me show real quick this. I'm trying to figure out which pictures. I think it was this one. Why are you taking so
Share
long?
your screen, Russ. It's not.
Yeah, I'm going to share it, but I want to
Okay.
get this thing pulled up first.
You want me to tell you how to share screen?
Yeah, we'll be here all night, right?
Always remember, you can't take the new batteries and put them in the old charger, but you can take the old batteries and put them in the new chargers if you have a smart charger.
Yeah.
Just
Why
FYI while he's looking that up.
Why is my computer giving me so much fits right now?
Yeah, it's the DeWalt 9095. Just check the number on the battery pack. Like I said, this one says it's the 9098, so it's the 9095. And something about the date code being between 9719 and 9810. It must be repaired.
I don't know why, but my computer is having a.
Okay, in fact, I'll post this in the live chat. So in case you do have some, which by now the batteries have probably died anyway on you. That's why I ended up switching to the smaller batteries, got new drills and stuff, because these batteries ended up dying. I can't remember if this one is a good battery or not. Anyway, I just have it. So
Is that lithium ion or is that NiCad?
yeah, they are lithium ion. I'm pretty certain. I know this one.
Have you ever thought about just replacing them yourself? Because there's a lot of YouTube videos online to show you how to do that.
I used to rebuild a nickel metal hydrate
The
batteries.
NiCad stuff.
Yes, but that's back when I could get them for like 89 cents a piece, and all of a sudden they jumped up to like $2.50, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, they want you to go to the next.
I went
technology.
to go get replacement insides batteries for this, and it was like $34.
Yeah.
Well, I could get the battery for $50, so why not just buy a brand new
All
battery?
right, so let me share my screen real quick.
Because we're
and
DIYers.
I have some of the.
Right.
What are you gonna do, huh?
It cost me twice as much. But
I can tell you how to get around that.
All right, so
Right.
you see my,
That's a garage
screen?
fire.
Yes, this is the one that was posted on Facebook of the acquaintance. This is actually their garage, and yeah,
That's a bad day right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Apparently,
it
these
is.
are a few pictures
That's a hope you got enough insurance day.
from inside the garage.
wow.
So I don't know.
Well, you know what? Really, there's two ways to look at it. That's if you have enough insurance, or if you have $500 for the deductible to get a whole brand new shop.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't understand why
my daughter
computer-
is my insurance agent, so she makes sure that I have enough insurance.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
I'm not sure what this picture, the reason they took this picture, other than the fact that maybe this is where they're thinking the fire started, but this is a picture inside. For some reason, my computer is struggling with these pictures, and I don't understand why.
When you use that window pictures viewer thing, it takes forever to load pictures in that thing.
Yeah, I don't think this is part. This is a different garage. This is a different garage. So let's go away from that one and go to. It was this one. Yes,
Open paint can in that picture.
that looks like to me it was a battery pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sure does.
Yep, that looks like a battery pack. And if you go back to this picture before this one, I think. Yeah, see how it's struggling to. Oh, we got to get a better picture viewer.
That's what you'll get if you take a new battery and put it in the old charger.
No kidding. Wow.
Oh, come on.
We've got Russ here for forensics because he used to be a firefighter.
Yeah, he can tell us
Yeah,
right
see,
away.
the battery pack looks like it's sitting right here.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
kind of determined that it must have come from here. I mean, I don't see enough of the garage pictures to be able to tell you.
I wonder if that's the battery pack right there. Well, I guess I'm looking
It's
at.
right here on the left, right where my mouse is.
Yeah, I was looking at the delayed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And so that seems to be the picture of it. Now, I also stumbled across, which one is this one? This is the name, and this happened June 9th of 2020. And it says, we heard back from the fire investigators, and it was determined that the DeWalt battery charger was the cause from the fire that burned our garage and shop.
2020.
Yep. This is 2020.
Yeah.
So many other people, this is not uncommon, and it's not just DeWalt's. All brands have the same issue. Don't leave your cordless drill battery on the charger after it is charged. If it was a new battery within the last 6 months, and the Flex Volt charger, we only had it on charge for 5 hours. So,
Wow.
but that's what, and this is the result of that.
What brand was it?
That was a DeWalt. They're saying this fire here was caused by a DeWalt.
By DeWalt.
Yep, this is caused by a DeWalt. So as I went looking through, this is another fire that I supposedly was caused by a DeWalt type charger. And they're honing in on, this is a different garage. Now, this is not the same. Actually, you can see this is a roll-up door up here. But this is honing in on this shelf over here. And from what I saw is, through the pictures that they posted, they were zooming in on that shelf. That's where they think the fire came from. And it also had a DeWalt battery charger on it. And it messed up that garage also. Did a number on there. So, and then I went and was looking through some stuff. Now, this came from the guy posted these pictures. He said this happened 2 years ago, and he thought it was quiet about it. Just know that Flex Volt battery burned his truck, and he was riding it off. Luckily, the fire shorted out wiring and turned on the headlights. It was at 9:30 p.m. before bedtime. He noticed his lights were on and went out to check, and that's when he found what had happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is his inside of his pickup truck. Now, this is just the drill or the driver with
all I see is a white screen.
I know it's loading.
It's a very clean truck.
You have to give it a few minutes. For some reason, my computer is struggling opening these pictures, and I've never had this problem before.
Russ, when you were a firefighter, did you have to go out on scenes like this a lot and try to help determine what caused the fire? Or
no, I even though I went through plenty of classes to do fire investigations. Actually, I wanted to be an arson investigator at one point, but it just never panned out in my career. I had taken all the classes, but no, they brought in arson investigators to investigate. This is the pickup truck. This is where his the battery, the drill was actually laying down below here in the floorboard, and this is actually.
So the drill was charging in his truck?
No, it was just the drill was not on charge. It was just laying in the floorboard and caught on.
By the way, there are some recalls on drills, and I can get the exact information. And the switch and the switch would overheat and cause fires also.
Yeah.
I did see that. Not saying that was the issue, but there are some also, since you're mentioning
Why
drills.
is my computer having so much problems?
So do you leave your drill and all that with a battery in it when you're not?
I have gotten, and I've been doing this for a while. There it is. That was what was in his floorboard.
What
the
was it?
impact driver.
It was an impact driver.
Yeah.
Do you leave your batteries and your drills and your impact driver? When
I
you're
don't. I have not been doing that for over a year now. Somebody had told me that they had problems with theirs. One of the things they told me is depending on how you store it, like if you store it up against something and it falls over, it can push the trigger and make this thing run and cause problems.
Yes.
So I just started disconnecting all my batteries.
That doesn't look like it has. I normally hang them upside down without the battery and put the battery in the charger.
Yeah.
But
That battery just shorted out. That's what that.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
It
could it
shorted
have been
out.
the switch? Could it have been the switch?
Yes, that'll overheat. They
Yeah.
make a lot of chintzy plastic switches on these products, and they'll melt inside. I've taken Milwaukee Sawzalls apart already and had to repair the switches, and that's exactly what happened. They melted inside.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's the safety recall. Individual cordless drill.
Okay. Before you go there, I got this. Up here. It says
Go ahead.
garage fire may have been caused by charging station for batteries. This was in Longview, WA. I think that's what, Wisconsin,
Washington.
Okay, Washington.
Yep.
A Longview Fire Department extinguished a fire late Wednesday at a home belonging to a firefighter. Around 11:36, crews responded to a house fire in the 2300 block of Jatham Lane on the west side of Longview. As crews were getting ready to leave the station, apparatus master firefighter Justin Knoll told other firefighters that he had lived in that house until 2 years ago, according to fire officials. Crews arrived and confirmed the home had been evacuated. The garage door was hot to touch, and crews determined to attack the fire bedding through the home. When crews entered the garage, they were met with thick black smoke, blah, blah, blah. The fire was brought under control in about 10 minutes. The primary fire damage contained to the garage with light smoke the rest of the home. Fire investigators are looking at the possibility of a charging station for portable recharging batteries may have been the cause of the fire. Now, see, this is the picture. That's where they're thinking that the fire came from. This is the picture that's associated with that. And so is this one. So, and if you do your own little research and go on the internet and start looking around. Now, why did my camera quit? My camera was unplugged. My camera hasn't been unplugged.
Okay, then. Okay.
Yeah, my camera hasn't been unplugged. Let me see if I can get it back up and working.
Chris and his buddy.
You want me to go ahead and show
This is
the recall?
this is Chew.
Yeah, go ahead and show what you have.
Well, I've got to I got to share my screen.
Go ahead.
Let me see. I'm sharing my screen now.
Okay.
I'm going to share these guys, and over here, the safety recall that I was talking about is the drills, the DeWalt 920, 930, 935, 936, 940. It says that the individual tool, the DeWalt Tool Company is recalling repair for 12 volt, 14.4, and 18 volt XPR. And that last one looked like an 18 volt XPR, I think. Individual cordless drivers, the triggers could overheat, and which presents a possible fire hazard. The XPS. Heavy duty XPS, the 920, the BC 920 is an 18 volt cordless drill driver, which I don't know. I guess the big batteries are the 18s, and that one looked like a 20, so I'm not certain. But this recall is is on the DeWalt site, and I'm going to post it to the chat, but you guys can see the actual one that I'm watching. But I got 20 million windows open. So anyway, there is the link to what I was looking at, and but it's kind of scary because if the switch itself can overheat and cause a fire, I mean, it's not even the batteries at this point. And honestly, it can be, I'm sure, any company. But if you get some of the less expensive stuff, I'm not going to mention any names, but you know where I'm talking about. Which I don't have products. There's no telling. There's no tellings what the shortcuts that have been taken. You know, in the spirit of making money, right? I mean, it's all about commercialization.
Right. Chris, I had to mute you. There is noise coming through your or your mic, and it is blocking out half of what Al is saying.
Oh, okay. I thought it was me.
No, it's his mic is picking something up. Must be bugs again, like it was that one time.
Bugs in the attic?
As soon as I
No,
muted,
it's the local motorheads thinking that it's a raceway on the street. So
well, as soon as I muted you, Al's volume cleared up. So you might have to, if you start hearing that again, mute yourself.
Yeah,
I got my finger on the trigger.
I don't know if this is going to kill the show or not. I'm going to try to remove myself and come back in. And so give me one second.
Carry on.
Yeah, see if y'all can carry on or not. So
it has, I'll tell you this, it has gone on without you, Russ, but I don't know about the actual stream. We've been in the chat together after you've left before.
Oh, he's back.
Yep, I'm back, but you see it's still, for some reason, my camera is not working, which is kind of funny. I wonder why.
There you go.
YouTube feed never broke.
Upgrades.
It has to do something with the picture viewer, because I was having so many problems with the picture viewer that somehow it triggered it to go off. Well, at least you can hear me. You don't have to see my sexy face. What are you looking at here? What are we looking at?
Oh, I never did. Oh, I'm sorry. I was sitting there chatting. I forgot to turn this back on. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't have any pictures of nude women up there.
That's right. Let's stop.
I'm not.
Let's stop.
Yeah, I can't get. I went into.
Who'd we lose? Oh.
You're back.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
What?
What? You talking?
Yeah. Actually, this is my camera on my actual laptop that kicked in. Let's see if I can change it back to. Yes. There we have it. I am back. Cool. Never had. That's the first time I've ever had that happen. I'm having a problem now. The restream chat's over here.
Leonard Davis says you look old on your new.
Yeah, you've been accused of aging on your
new camera. Well, that was actually the HP laptop camera. That wasn't my real good camera, which is this.
Oh,
This camera makes me look young. See, I programmed it so it took 20 years off of my face, so I look young.
Usually, picture ads wait to you, so that's not too bad. You got off
anyway.
lucky.
So my suggestion would be, and I really thought about this, and I started doing this a long time ago. I never leave my batteries charging in my shop overnight. Now, I'm not going to say that I haven't left them on because I forgot sometimes, but most of the time I will take the battery off the charger, and I have my chargers on a power strip, and I'll actually turn the power strip off. Well, actually, sometimes for a long time, I had them, and when you turn the power strip on, if I only want to charge the DeWalt battery, well, then the Ryobi and the Milwaukee and the other chargers all come on. So I just got where I was just taking the individual charger and plugging it into the wall and charging that one battery. But my point is I don't think it's safe to leave the batteries on charge in your shop and not be around your shop. Like if you're going to go off for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, I would say take the battery off and unplug it. I wouldn't leave it. I mean, that's just my personal thing from everything that I've been reading lately about this. And the second thing is like we were talking about, is when you're storing your tools, I would not leave the battery connected. I would disconnect the battery and store it that way with the battery separate from the tool. Because if there's problems with the switch and the switch does hang, or let's say you put it in a drawer with some other tools and it falls over or comes in contact and turns on, I know myself, if you'll take your drill and hold the trigger down and run it for a good 2 or 3 minutes solid, feel that battery. That battery starts getting hot, and especially if you put that thing under a load, it starts getting hot. So
but those kind of tools aren't built for that kind of like a load on the components. So
they're not made for continuous.
You drill something in, you're on for like 4 seconds, you pull off.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what my point is. If it falls over and triggers that thing to continuous run,
you got a problem. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you leave your laptop plugged in all the time?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
You don't?
But that's a whole different circuitry. That's a very sophisticated. Your iPad and laptop is very sophisticated circuitry to monitor that battery. So that can't happen.
Well, I have both of these laptops are on a power strip down here, and when I leave, I just turn the power strip off.
It's
Matter of
amazing.
fact, I've come in before and started running the show, and I kept on noticing that my screen was getting darker and darker, and I'm like, I kept on having to squint, and finally it popped up that the battery was low, it needed to be recharged, and what it was doing was reducing the brightness, and I wasn't even catching it.
See, I never unplug my laptops.
Yeah,
I do.
It's funny that you mentioned the laptop, though, that it has special circuitry, because yesterday I went ahead, I ended what I was doing on my laptop, and I closed it. Normally, the fans slow down, they power down, and the thing goes quiet. The laptop didn't do that. The laptop, even though it was closed, was still running with the fans at full blast, and this is a nice laptop. So I thought, I don't like that. I opened it back up, logged out, and shut it down. And I normally never shut it down. I just close it.
See, and that's probably the firmware, thanks to Windows.
But my
for not putting that into sleep mode.
Even though
yes,
even though that it's sophisticated, you need to make sure that you're not allowing it to do something that it might cause havoc.
I would say in your case, probably it's supposed to have when you close the laptop lid, it's supposed to sense that the lid is shut and shut down. Actually, it's supposed to go to sleep. Hold on. My point is that apparently, I know everybody tries to overrun you. It's like, wait till I'm finished. Apparently, yours didn't get the signal when you closed the lid that the lid was closed. And I had that happen too before. Yes. I shut my lid on mine and it's supposed to shut off. And I was standing in the kitchen and I heard something and I'm like, what the heck? I had actually been watching YouTube and the video was still up and running. And that was what I was hearing. And I come back and lifted the lid and sure enough, it didn't shut off. So even though it's sophisticated equipment, it can malfunction.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
Yes. All them battery packs on your drills, they're not made for continuous load. That's why they have a thermistor in line with the batteries inside, just for that temperature. It's temperature. It's a temperature thermistor, but anything can fail.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you trying to say, Paul?
I was saying I just leave mine the way it is. I never close the lid. I just turn it off. I just
well, that's fine.
And I never unplug it. I never do nothing. I just shut it off.
That's fine. I like I said, I have a power strip here, and I just shut the power strip off, and it shuts both laptops off. They're both plugged in the same power strip. I just don't trust them.
As laptops get older, and I guess we're going a little bit off topic, but the batteries will not be as they won't retain voltage or power like they used to, and they will go down. You have to keep them charged up, so therefore you keep them plugged in all the time. It's one of those things.
Jim Dockrell brings up a good point. He said that in your power settings, you need to make sure there's an option to turn off when lid closes. Yes, that is. You can change that in your power setting, but most laptops come with that set that way.
Yeah, that's the point though on mine is that yes, it has always turned off when I've closed the lid. It didn't the other day, and I'm going, why not?
I'll tell you something that I found. Did it do an update recently? Sometimes when it does updates, things change.
Yep.
No, because it updates from campus. It only updates from the campus servers when I have it on campus. So that's a good point, but no.
Yeah. Chris Nealon says, why isn't Izzy Swan's shop burst into flames? He runs everything drill powered. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. He says that he has a light and on his strip with the charger, so it reminds him that the power. Who said that? Leonard Davis. Leonard Davis says he has a light on. So in other words, if the light's on, the strip's on, and that means things are charging. So that's a good idea. Have a little light up there to let you shine out. So like if I had that up there and I went to leave and turn the lights off in my shop and that light was still on, then I'd realize, hey, I forgot to turn the chargers off. That's a good idea, Leonard. Very good idea. My wife asked, does the camera make me look fat? I don't answer. I just blame the camera.
Yeah, and don't say, no, dear, it's not the camera. Oh my God.
No, honey, it's not the mirror that makes you look heavy. It's the refrigerator.
The guy's in the hospital, and his eyes are all black and blue, and he finally looked through him, and the doctor asked him, he says, "What in the world happened to you?" He says, "Well, my wife asked me." She says, "These jeans make my butt look big," and I looked at her and said, "No, honey, your butt is just big."
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he wakes up in the hospital and he already can see out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Does this make my butt look big?
No, your butt makes the jeans look big.
Yeah.
You want to really make them mad and say, "No, honey, it's not the jeans that make it look big. It's the refrigerator."
Anyway, I was going back through to see if anybody had any other comments. Those are the two that I read. I think, that is just my 2 cents worth. But I would definitely not, especially after reading all that I've read. I thought I was taking precautions before, and I'm going to even beef it up. I like Leonard's idea about plugging in a little light on that strip so that you'll know that it's on and there's something over there charging. Because I have, not on purpose, but I have put things on charge and got busy in the shop and went in and turned all the lights off and everything. I've even went so far as to be in bed and laying there for a few minutes and go, crap, I forgot to take the battery off the charger or turn it off, and got up and put clothes on and walked all the way out here in the shop and I asked my wife, she's saying, "What?" And I'm like, "I forgot there's a battery on charge." I've done that several times, but I've also forgot and woke up the next day and come out here and there'd be a battery sitting there on the charger. I'm going like, at least the shop's here. So I think in all sincerity, anytime you deal with anything, and it goes with electricity too. We had Mr. Coffee. It used to be when it first come out, the Mr. Coffee pots that would make the coffee so quick. We had a lot of problems, and there was this. Now this is back in the early '80s. We had a lot of problems here in Polk County, and I ran several house fires that were caused by Mr. Coffee Pot. You would get to literally we'd get there and go inside, and the coffee pot would be melted down onto the cabinet, and it didn't start a house on fire, but it'd be melted all down and be hot and smoking. And there was a recall on Mr. Coffee Pots back in the early 80s because of that. They were having a lot of problems with them. So it's not
was
just
there still coffee in the pot.
no, no.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's kind of like any kind of electronic device. I mean, most of my electronic devices out here are shut off when I leave at night. I don't really have anything that is in here that's running. There are a few things. I have a camera in this that is DC powered, but it's an AC DC converter into the wall. Now that stays plugged in 24 hours a day. So I can look in the shop at any time, 24 hours a day on my phone. But and a lot of times when I did that was I would set that camera up in front of my CNC, and if I went inside for a little while to use the bathroom, whatever, I could still look in my camera and see the CNC running and know everything was okay. Because if y'all don't know this, I believe it was our friend Mike Merksky. He had left his CNC running and went inside, and it actually the board came loose and started superheating and set the board on fire. And he was standing in his house going like, I smell smoke, and went back out, and boom. Yeah. Yep. The bit got hung in the board and got, where it was just dragging the board around, but it stayed connected to the bit, and it actually started. I don't think it went and burst into flames, but it was smoldering and filled his garage with smoke. I believe it was Mike Merksky that had that happen. Wow. So, I mean, anything electronics can cause you problems. So, but I just know that I'm a little bit. Alan Carter has joined us. He's over there on Facebook. Edgar Natras. He's over there on Facebook also. Good to have y'all guys join us over there. But like I said, just as a forewarning, I wouldn't leave them in the batteries for your tools in charge overnight without you being in there, and I wouldn't leave the battery in the tool. That's just my suggestion. Does everybody pretty well think about the same thing?
Yes, I agree.
My timers, my strip, I have a timer on it. They can only charge during the day.
See, that's a good idea right there. That's a good idea. In fact,
that's another good idea with the light, but have it on a timer so that that's a good idea. What'd you say?
I've left them plugged in forever and a day, but I did have one day where I was going to do a job at my sister's. I'm driving, and I hear what sounded like a motor running. I turned the radio off. I pulled over the side of the road, shut the truck down. Like, what is that noise? The drill, like you said, in the toolbox, something had hit the switch.
Yeah.
And the drill was spinning inside the toolbox. So it can happen very easily. Yeah. So, of course, the battery was dead by the time I got to the job, so I had to go buy a charger.
Yeah. I would feel safer, and that's the reason when I saw that, and that lady had posted that their shop burnt down because of and the fire marshal and everything was contributing it to the DeWalt saw. Now here's another thing. This was another thing I wanted to bring up, and just real quick about the same situation. You need to be very, very, very careful about running a business out of your home. And because I'll tell you why. If you're running a business out of your home and you have those tools in your home and it does cause a garage fire, and your insurance company finds out that you're not paying insurance for a business, you're paying insurance for home, your insurance could balk the claim and not pay for your house because of that. Right. So you need to be very, very careful about if it's a hobby or you're actually running a business and you're selling stuff out of your garage in your home. You need to get with your insurance company and discuss that with them. They might want to, because I'm telling you, if you've got a DeWalt drill in there and that DeWalt drill, and here's the point, you got a DeWalt drill, the DeWalt drill causes a fire, burns your house down. Your insurance company finds out that you've been running a business and balks the claim. I got news for you. DeWalt has a bunch of money and they got a bunch of lawyers retained. And I can guarantee you, they will send insurance adjusters and insurance investigators down, and they'll come up with some other reason that fire started other than that DeWalt, and they'll dispute the claim from the fire marshal's office. And there you go. You're without a home and you're without any money.
Yep, they sure will.
Yeah.
We had up here, we've got one of it's, what is it, BP now? But we've got Amoco's largest refinery in the U.S. right here in Whiting, Indiana. And we had oil in people's basements coming up that lived real close to the refinery.
Right.
And Amoco's lawyers were able to get around people filing claims for having oil leaking into their basements and saying it wasn't coming from the refinery.
Yeah.
So if you ever did, think that you can beat a huge legal team, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's
I'll give you, for instance, look at the dream team that Bill, what was his name?
OJ.
Simpson had. Yeah. Look at his dream team. So and you're not going to beat a big company like that.
Always remember, it's not who's right, it's who has the biggest pile of money.
Yeah.
Right.
To pay people to get on the stand that are not professionals. What do you want to call but yeah, that professional in their field or whatever. Yeah, and say that no, it didn't start from that. It started from this over here. So what you do is get the jury confused because now they don't know who to believe. And there you go. Remember in the O.J. Simpson trial, it was, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yep.
Remember that famous saying? And guess what? They told him that was the thing that destroyed their prosecution, is when they told him to put the glove on and he couldn't even get it on his hand. So, but yeah, so I thought about that the other day. I was thinking about, my shop, it's connected to my house and everything. And I used to sell, but I don't really sell anymore. I'm pretty well got into the hobby thing because I realize you're not going to make a whole bunch of money off of this. But I got to thinking about the other day, for these people that are actually turning their business into their garage into a shop, into a business, and they're running it. And if they have a problem in there, like I said, one of these tools catches on fire, if that insurance company does an investigation and finds out that you're selling stuff and you have a business license, they're not going to pay off. They're going to come back and say, "Hey, time out. You weren't you weren't paying insurance on a business."
Right.
So
I was just telling the agent the other day, setting up the renter's insurance, and that was the question she asked about tools and equipment. So, because she saw my truck out front. So, do you have a business in your home? I said, nope.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Yep.
Now, you do a commission piece now and then. That's fine. But if you got to maintain it, it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I there for years, like I said, I used to do the flea markets and the, all that kind of stuff, trying to sell stuff. And I don't get me wrong, I made money, but there was times when I would rent a booth for $50 and sold $60 worth of stuff and spent all day.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, this ain't worth it. I ain't doing it. And especially if you're out there and you've got other people that have stuff similar to yours, and you're selling yours for $10 and they're selling theirs for $5.
Right.
So
it's the race to the bottom.
Yep. So I basically now, I would admit that I do have some customers that ask me from time to time to make things for them.
Yeah.
And I do that, but it's strictly now just become a hobby and a time to relax and pleasure anymore.
If anybody asks, they paid for the supplies.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
Alan Carter says they got the best lawyers. Yes. I guarantee you insurance companies have good lawyers, very good lawyers.
That's exactly how the guys who take people out fishing without a license get around and say, oh no, they just paid for the gas.
Yeah.
So it's not a business. They paid for the gas.
Well, I hope that we made an impact on somebody out there, that they have learned something tonight. I know, like I said, when I first saw that picture, I had no idea that DeWalt had as much problems that they did back in the
Yeah.
early 2000s with their tools as they did until I started doing some research. I was like, wow.
That was kind of the wild west of lithium ion, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's when you first get into a technology, you're going to have that problem.
Yeah. Yeah, but you would think on certain things like phones blowing up on the side of your face, they would have done a little bit more research.
That's an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a plane back in the early 2000s that was carrying some batteries that they started thinking they had to make an emergency landing. And that's when they won't ship those on planes anymore. Any batteries anymore are shipped by ground. That's
well, like we were talking about before the show is, you still can't go on a plane and put like a laptop or a phone in your checked baggage.
No, you're supposed to
carry it on with you.
Yep, you're supposed to carry them on with you.
Huh.
Yep, you're supposed to carry it on with you, and that's a good idea. Like I said, there was also something else that was on board a plane one time that they had problems with, and I'm trying to remember what it was that did cause problems. Caused a fire in the cargo area, and they quit carrying those too. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was some kind of canister that had something in it. They were supposed to be empty. And I don't remember. I don't remember the whole story, but I'd have to go back and research it. But they had problems with those too. Sandy McKenzie Lumbermill. She said, "Thanks, guys. I will definitely start unplugging. I used to, but we'll start unplugging again." Yeah, I think it's just best. I mean, I wouldn't want to risk, especially if you and there's some shops that are separate from the homes that actually don't have insurance on them.
Right.
If you come in and build a shop out back and don't attach it to your homeowner's insurance, you may not have insurance. I know my next door neighbor, when she bought that property, there's a 2-car garage built that my friend David built out back. It had a severe leak in the back part, and he had the roof replaced, but they found black mold in there. And when she bought the house, the insurance company would not insure that garage because there was black mold in there.
Yeah.
So if something happens to her garage, it's not insured. So she told me that. She goes, yeah, she was asking me the other day because she knew I was in construction, what would I have to do to get it out of there? I said, pretty much you'd have to go in there and pull all the drywall and all the insulation down, get it all out of there. And then you're going to have to have it treated and let it sit. And then you can put everything back in new. And she was like, that's going to cost a lot of money. I said, yeah. She goes, well, I'm not going. She only uses it to store her lawnmower and a few things in.
I wouldn't do that either. If that's all she's using it for.
Yeah, she's just using it to. She's got a lot of
problem if she goes to sell it.
Yes, if she ever goes to sell it, and that's what she ran into. At first, the mortgage company was not going to sell it, but they ended up. I'm not sure the whole story because I didn't get into details with her, but she did tell me that when she got it insured, that the insurance company did not include that and told them that we're not going to include it because of the black mold.
Somebody out in the chat wants to know, how does cold weather affect the lithium batteries?
I don't know. Anybody else here?
It's actually good for them if it depends how cold. You don't want it freezing.
Yeah.
They'll store the energy if it'll last longer, the energy in them, as long as it's cooler, like in the 40s, but you don't want them to freeze.
What would happen if they froze?
It just wrecks it depends if you're talking now like lipos like this one here, because this is a chemical where your other lithium batteries are more of a dry chemical. This is actually three cell, and the packages you can see they're split, and there's actually a liquid in here, lipo. And these are the ones that once they start, I have these out in the garage, but I'll bring them in pretty soon once it gets to freezing, because
will
it's like
chemical in that freeze.
No, it never will freeze, but it'll deplete it if it gets below freezing. It won't last.
It'll mess with it, in other words.
Yes, it messes with the chemical. It won't last as long.
Usually when you have electronic components like that, there's a storage temperature and an operating temperature.
Yep.
So if you have, like Dixon was saying, if you can run it at normal temperatures all the time, but if you want to just let it sit there, you obviously don't want it to freeze. But I mean, there's a storage temp spec on these things also.
Yeah,
Right.
these batteries go to I have a B-17 bomber, and I have 3 of these big cells, and this is the kind of charger it uses to charge those batteries. Everything is monitored real close. And these leads here are for balancing, because there's 3 cells there, and they'll actually change voltage and they'll get out of balance. So I balance them once a year, plugging into here.
Yep.
Yeah, the usual range is 32 to 80 degrees on those batteries. It can slow the charging process down to the point where the chemical reaction doesn't take place at all. I mean, that's
Jim
basically the
posted
bottom
as a
line.
rule, electronics work better at lower temperatures. Yes, they
Yes.
do.
Yeah, they do.
And Aussie Man is right. The reason they have fans on computers is to keep the processor cool.
Yep, they run cooler. Yep.
Yes, that processor actually will burn the crap out of you. If you've ever
Yes.
worked on computers and had one on and turn it off real quick and pop that heat exchanger off, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes, that's a heat exchanger.
Yeah, you pop it off and go to pull the processor out. And don't give it a few minutes; it will burn the crap out of your fingers. They get hot.
Here is a picture of a cooling system in a computer.
Yes,
Liquid cooled with a water fountain. So you
Yep.
feel pretty. This has a saber tooth process board in it, motherboard, and that chip gets that hot that it's sort of strange. When you're done building the computer, you got to get a funnel and fill it up with water.
yes,
But there's a fountain, water fountain in the middle, and that's how that cools that chip. You can see the 2 main lines going on top of that chip. Cool it.
Yeah.
yeah. I have a friend of mine that built a computer. It has 6 processors.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it has 6 processors,
Yep.
and his has to be water cooled also to keep the 6 processors. You can't put enough fans in that to keep it cool enough. It has to be water cooled.
Exactly. This one has 8 cores, and it's a saber tooth military board, and it runs hot, but that keeps it cool.
Yeah.
Russ, I'm looking on Wikipedia under lithium ion, and they've got it says they offer good charging performance at cooler temperatures. So you can fast charge these guys at 5 to 45 degrees C, which is 41 to 113 for us normal people. And you should be kind of charging them at that range. So if you get to 0 to 5 to C or 0 to 5 degrees C, it's possible, but the charging current needs to be reduced to it.
Yes.
So
If I take mine and do a fast charge for my B-17 bomber, then next time if I fast charge it 3 times, then I'll have to balance it to get all the cells to equal out the same.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Yep.
Sandy McKenzie says that iPhones don't work so well in winter in Canada. I bet.
Nothing works good in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
It'd be like nothing works good in Alaska either.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it's Canada. Come on. Nothing works so.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, I hope we did. Everybody learned something tonight. I know when I first started researching this after that post, and I was very shocked at some of the problems that it had. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I've got quite a few battery operated tools.
I know, yeah.
So fortunately, I haven't had any problems, and I'm thank God for that. So
Yeah, neither have I, and I ignore it all the time.
yeah.
I just keep them charged or plugged in,
Yeah.
So
I think we all do.
tonight.
We all talk a good story, but we all leave them plugged in. So
Yeah. And we will after tonight too.
I
Yeah.
probably will
No,
go.
I won't. Like I said, I had stopped that, and I hadn't been doing it in a while, but I got
You
to
know,
the
this
point
show
where
just became evidence for the insurance company.
yeah,
That's why I have a timer on mine.
yep. The timer is a good idea, and also the having a light that's on where your charging station is, so
Yep.
that you can look over.
Yep.
And that would work for me
Make sure
if
it's turned on.
I was leaving the shop and turned the lights off, and there was a light on that charging station over there. I would immediately see it. Let's put it this way. I was so bad that I have a sign up on the door over there. I used to leave my air compressor on, and overnight. In other words, I turn it on that morning and be using everything and forget and turn it off and come out here the next day and have been running. That wasn't running all night, but if the air got low, it would kick on during the night.
Yeah.
And so I actually put a sign up on the door as I leave, and it's got 2 reminders. One is take the tension off your scroll saw.
Right?
That was the first one.
Yep.
And the second one is turn off the compressor.
Yep.
Yep. So when I would leave at night, I'd see that sign and couldn't forget to reach over because the switch is right there by the door. I did it that way intentionally, so when I walked out, I could turn everything off at one time. The compressor, the lights, everything can go off at one time.
Yeah.
So that's
My
funny.
note was, did you turn off the propane tank?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That
now
can
you
be
got-
More, though.
That
I
can be
have-
a big boom during the middle of the night. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So yeah. So, but I was bad
An
about that.
overheated
So.
battery and propane don't mix.
Mm-mm. Nope, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm glad. I feel that I hope people watch this and take heed, because I really was shocked about the problems I discovered with some of those tools. So, but thank y'all all for watching. Sandy McKenzie, Rick St. Louis, John Lockery, Aussie Man's been out there. Chris Nealon, Jim Dockrell, Old Path,
Old Path.
Michelle Marcoux, good friend Michelle Marcoux.
Bonsoir, Mister.
Yep, Alan Carter, Leonard Davis, John Lockery, Edgar Natras. All them people have been out there watching. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And all those that have been watching, we had Lady Frenzy, Wicked Truth. She goes, damn it, I missed it.
I didn't see her. I didn't see her.
She's just now come on.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
never did
yeah.
get Twitch up, by the way, over there. But yeah, there she is.
She's just now finding out that the show has been going.
She
Well,
was
you can always-
translating a pattern from Japanese to English.
You can always go over to my YouTube channel and watch the rerun.
Making them blank.
Yes.
So yes, you can do that. So, all right. Thank you, Mr. Chris, Al.
Hey, Russ, before you
Dixon?
pull, Russ, before you pull the plug, just a reminder to keep our friend Brian Gidney in your thoughts. Yeah, he buried his wife
Yes.
this week.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered that. I
Before
forgot
Harlem.
about that. And I was going to say, yes, Brian Gidney lost his wife this week, and he's a very good friend of all of us. He's
Yeah.
actually helped me get my start doing my show. Actually,
Yeah.
I was on his show for a while, and so he helped me get this show started. And also, he has set up a GoFundMe page. If you would be so kind, he's got a lot of medical expenses that they occurred, and also the funeral itself. That I don't know what his insurance or what situation or whatever it is, and it's none of my business. But I do know that he set up a GoFundMe page and is asking that if anybody can donate, he would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it too.
Yeah.
To help him out. So yeah, go over there and check that out. It's Brian Gidney. He's on Facebook. If you want to find him another way, you can find him as underneath Summers Woodworking.
Yeah, I'll put a link out here to the. I think it's a PayPal me.
No, he actually has 2 ways. You can do PayPal me or
There's
GoFundMe.
one.
Yep.
Let me see if I can find the other one.
Yeah, it's PayPal or GoFundMe. But it's under Summers Woodworking also. And his name is actually Brian Gidney. I believe it's spelled Gidney.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, Brian Gidney.
She gave it a good battle, but unfortunately she lost.
Yeah, she's been struggling with
Yeah,
cancer.
really.
I know for a year.
Yeah.
And she gave it a very good battle. I most of the times, the handwriting on the wall that it's not going to be a good outcome. So
That was the first thing my wife said.
yeah, especially the type of cancer that she had. She had brain cancer.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor had brain cancer, and from the time that she was diagnosed to the time she passed was only 6 months.
Yeah, and I got the GoFundMe here.
Okay.
Yeah, I put up the PayPal too.
Oh,
Yeah,
you did? Okay, good.
Yeah, it's up there too.
Okay, there's the
I just sent
PayPal
one.
And here's the GoFundMe.
the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's only $5 or $10, trust me, if you in the situation he's in, anything will help. Trust me.
Funerals
He's had a
are
tough couple
expensive.
years. First the fire, now this.
Yes.
Yeah,
And she had
beaten on them.
Yeah, she was with cancer, and they had their house burned down. And it
Yeah.
wasn't the next door neighbor's house caught on fire and set their house on fire and burned their house down. And so
Thanks for reminding me about it though, because I just sent them some money. So
yeah.
it's
All right. And anyway, I think it was on Jim. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, Paul. I appreciate y'all being here. Everybody here on the panel being here every week. I appreciate it. And hopefully Brenda will get off her butt and get her shot and get back here next week because we miss her and everybody out there is missing her. So
Yeah.
they keep on asking where she's at. So remember, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you're just too darn busy. My sinuses are killing me.
Sing it, Russ.
Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for
Good night,
watching.
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
God bless.
Bye, everybody.
And remember, you don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here.
Nope, you can't. You got to go.
And remember to unplug your devices that are charging.